Welcome back to my podcast, The Grow Wealth Experience. I just had the pleasure of sitting down with an NFL coaching powerhouse, the one and only dynamic Rob Ryan. He's the senior defensive assistant to the Las Vegas Raiders, and he's been coaching for 30 years across 10 different NFL teams. And he's a two-time Super Bowl champion. On top of that, he's on his newest mission to end child trafficking with two organizations he and his wife, Kristen, created, Athletes Against Child Trafficking and the Backwards K Project, where he's mobilizing athletes and fans alike to protect vulnerable children. Now, before we go on to the interview, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. And let's dive in.
Oh, great to be here, Aysha. It was great meeting you at the Lee Steinberg event out there at the Super Bowl. And I'm just happy to be part of your great show and, to tell some people, about a cause that I think is real dear to our hearts and me and my wife's and really everybody. It's a massive problem with our country and hopefully that we can find a solution and to eliminate child trafficking. It's a massive problem in our country, and I think it needs to be addressed. And we're trying to just do a little bit of trying to get all the sports, the people under, of all the fans and all the players and everything under one banner and attack this problem. And that's what our goal is.
Great. I cannot wait to talk to you about that. But first, I want to start with you. Your coaching career is so impressive, and you've left your mark all over the world on your team, on the player, on the sport of football. Can you talk about your journey to success a little bit? Were there like pivotal moments in there that stand out to you? I know we talked about Eddie Robinson a little bit, or anything you want to
Yeah,
tell us.
yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I was born into this profession. I mean, my father is a great buddy, Ryan, who's probably the greatest defensive coach ever to coach in the National Football League, and me and my brother Rex, my older brother Jim, God rest his soul, was a lawyer, and he, my mother had, has her PhD from University of Chicago, so they're very smart. But me and Rex, I don't know what happened. We ended up being football coaches, but dyslexia, football, I don't know, but somehow we ended up in coaching, and it was the greatest profession for us. It's a people business, and that's what makes it so great. I mean, you're dealing with the alphas, the guy, just great people. They come from all walks of life, every different kind of background, but everybody gets focused on the one team and with one goal, and it's an awesome thing, and it's been great to be a part of. Our beginnings. I know there's people. Well, they got the job from nepotism. Me and my brother. Well, that is definitely true. When after coaching 12 years in college football, we did get our first chance to coach in the National Football League from my father, but once you do get it, you have to make the best of your opportunity. And I think me and Rex have done that. Both of us coached over 20 years in the National Football League. And you don't get, you may be given an opportunity, but you got to make the best of it yourself. And I think we've gone down as probably two of the biggest player coaches of all time in this league. And that just because we genuinely love people, and we genuinely, love to do well. And anytime a player of ours has success, that's the greatest feeling around. And I began into coaching, I graduate assistant like most people do. So I did that a couple spots, Western Kentucky, and then I moved on to Ohio State, and ended up getting my first full-time job, as we talked about. Is I was the first white coach ever at Tennessee State University, and coached there for 5 years. But the legendary Eddie Robinson gave me that opportunity, in a chance meeting with him, and he recommended me in person to Joe Gilliam, and I got my first full-time job. And then I was coordinator a year at after coaching in the National Football League, where We were one of the best defenses in football. We led the league in all the pass defense categories when I was coaching secondary. We get fired, and I end up at Hutch Junior College, and had to be the dorm dad, making $20,000. But I had to work my way out of there, and got back to the league. Bill Belichick gave me a job after a 6-hour interview. And I was killing that interview, but then I saw him just doing this, like, oh, we're so different. I'm like, yeah, no kid, man. Everybody's different from Bill Belichick. But he gave me the opportunity, and I was blessed to learn a ton of football from him, and be there with Tom Brady, who put 2 rings on my fingers. And then I got hired by Al Davis, another Hall of Famer. I don't know what he liked about me, but he did, because I made it through 5 years there with 4 head coaches, and Al wouldn't let me leave. So, just seems weird talking about myself because it's such a team business, but I bounced around. I've worked for Jerry Jones, Robert Kraft, 2 Hall of Famers, owners. I mean, awesome people. Sean Payton, who's a crazy guy. But I love this Antonio Pierce now. I just absolutely love him. He's straight out of Compton. There's not a better Raider coach, maybe John Madden, than Antonio Pierce. I mean, he is perfect. He's really a great face of our organization. We're looking forward to doing some great things with the Raiders. And my title is senior assistant. I think that's just because I'm old, but I love it. I feel young. It's being around these young guys keeps you young and excited. And a lot of these guys have charities of their own, but they're all backing me up. Our young quarterback, our rookie quarterback, all the way to Max Crosby, the best player in the league. So it's been a real cool experience, but we're just starting to grow it. And we're getting fighters from the USC to help us. We're getting hockey players. I mean, women's basketball. We got an SQ who's great. Can't wait. Maybe we can get this Caitlin Clark. She can bustle 3-pointers. So we'll see. But it's just great. I mean, we want everybody's help to attack this problem. I know we'll get into that here in a little bit, but it's cool. I mean, I see when I met you, I'm like, wow, this is a driven, smart person, and
Thank you.
good people, and good people try to help good people. And I think together we can make a difference.
Fantastic. So how did you embrace this mission?
Well, it was something that my daughter was involved with a little bit on the wrong side there, and not to get into with her story, but it affected us in San Diego and Las Vegas. Probably the biggest problem is child trafficking, human trafficking, and we want to make a difference. We're going to retire in San Diego. I married a California girl, and we lived in San Diego, but that's where we first identified with this problem, that it could affect anybody. I mean, it affected us. And then to have, to go up to Las Vegas and coach for the Raiders, it's also a major problem there. So we're like, let's try to give back. As successful as my family's been, we've never had a charity at any point to give back to the community. And I don't know how long I'll be coaching. Hopefully I'll just keep coaching, and God knows how long, but we want to do something as a family to make a difference in our community, and having 100% charity to give back is something that was dear to us. And if we can have a positive impact on society with our name, I mean, that would be great.
What lessons off the football field do you bring to this business mission of yours? It is a business at this point.
Yeah, well, probably the worst businessman in the history is me. So that's why I'm still working. I mean, and shoot, at one point I was getting paid like a player, but if I had any business sense, maybe I'd be retired by now. But my son Matthew is just finishing up in business. He was #1 in the world of a 40,000 people, senior project that everybody has to do in School of Business. He's #1 in the world, which is crazy. I should have let him do my business. But it is a business, and we're learning lessons every day as we go about how important it is to do things right. My wife is really, been exhausted in trying to do things right, doing the right thing, trying to get our word out. But we haven't even hit yet. We haven't had a big launch yet. It just, we've had $25,000 already in it that we haven't even started yet. So we know everybody, there's such great people, and sports has such a big impact that we're like, man, this could work if we get everybody behind it. And that's what we're hoping to do.
How are the members of the Raiders? Who's involved? How are they involved?
Well, they've been amazing. I mean, first, they know me. They know I have no business sense whatsoever, but I identify a problem. And this is a people business. The NFL is a massive people business. And that's what drives it. And that's what makes it so successful, is the people in it. Not just the star athletes. They're just great people. And they care for each other. They care for the brand. And nothing unites people more than sports, in my opinion, especially football, because you got to be tough. You've got to be physical. You've got mentally. I mean, you're challenged every which way. I mean, every possible way. Excuse me. And it just ignites everybody to come together. And like I said, I mean, our quarterback, our star of our team, Max Crosby, we've got everybody. Our offensive linemen, I mean, everybody's involved in our defensive back. Everybody that they want to be a part of it. Like, Rob, let me do something. So you can see on our website, the Backwards K Project, you'll see our guys on there with their hats. We've got hats, the Backwards K hats for different people. Like the Backwards K for baseball. That means strikeout. We want to strike out child trafficking. We've got OSCE and SAC and QBK and all these hats for football. And then we've got Dunk for basketball. We've got Spike for volleyball. I mean, pretty much everything. Anything we could think of with a Backwards K to try to see it. We want it eventually to be in stadiums where everybody can see that symbol and know, hey, man, this is a fight against child trafficking. What can I do to help? And every little bit helps. We sell the hats for like $40, and that helps. And then we at the Lee Steinberg thing that you were at, that you were great at, by the way, we made a lot of money there and didn't even really never even tried. So we know it's a great cause, but everybody's willing to do anything for it. I mean, I heard from Drew Brees, Nnamdi Asomugha. I mean, they want to be part of this, and they're two great guys. Nnamdi's a great actor who I coached. I always told that kid he'd be a movie star because he looks great. And sure enough, he married Kerry Washington. He's making movies. I mean, the guy's amazing. And then Drew Brees. I mean, there's not a better human being than Drew Brees. So, it's just starting to grow, but we're super excited about it.
Well, our listeners are tuned in here, so they're hearing about that as well. So I'm sure at the end, you can tell us how to get in touch with you so they can help with the cause as well.
Perfect.
Now, setbacks and failures are part of the game. It's part of business as well.
Sure. Yeah.
How do you coach your team members to stay focused on their goals and keep their mental winning attitude when there's so much challenges on the field or just in life in general coming at them?
The great thing is, I mean, I could say this, I mean, in football, you go through the ups and downs, like you're saying, like in really any business. And, I've been fired probably more than any coach in the league. So, but I keep coming back. I think I'm pretty good, but I mean, I don't know. But I know our players, you go through a long season, you have ups and downs. I mean, we absolutely brutally beat Kansas City on Christmas Day at their house, and they end up winning the Super Bowl. So, I mean,
yeah, that was a great game.
Yeah. And but you have to, you have to be able to come back and bring people together. But I think the biggest thing is when I was there winning New England's first two Super Bowls, that's a lesson. It it's people, when you don't care who gets the credit and you just want a goal. And I think in any business, I think that's critical. If you can get people pulling in the same direction, you can move mountains. I mean, you really can. And it's amazing. In sports, it's the same way with any business. If people, can be dedicated to their profession and going in the same way, and if you're going to have a difficult conversation, have it with each other, but be able to say, okay, I see your point. Let's get the best point for us moving forward. I think in any line of work, that you're going to have your best results doing that.
Fantastic. Now, I know you study your opponents a lot and you study their weaknesses and their strengths. How important is adaptation and innovation for playing football or just in general?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that's a great point. I love how you've done so much research. It's amazing. You're such a smart person.
Thank you so much.
This person in this room for sure. But you have to take a look at, you've always like a checks and balance, probably with any time of work, or you see what's working out there for you, and you have to weigh that in, and then you have to exploit people's weaknesses on the other end, and you got to combine the two. And that's what game planning is. That's what, hey, okay, guys, this is going to be a little different this week. You got to spend a little extra time on that, but still doing what you do best. What you stand for as a team. You have to keep doing that, because if it's that important to you, that you believe in it that strong, you don't want to change everything you're doing week by week, but you do have to adapt, and things change, and the opponents change, and you do have to, every week you're going to have to adapt a certain style of play to go with what you do as your core belief to win games on Sunday.
Now, you mentioned football as a team sport. Obviously, what do you do when one of your team members doesn't want to perform with other team members? How do you handle that?
It doesn't happen very often, but when they're putting themselves in front of the team, like they want their glory, and nowadays, I think the players are a little bit different. They're the brand, the individual brand is big in sports now, probably like it is in every business. And you have to be able to talk to the individuals, because at the end of the day, the best thing that happens on Sundays is when the team wins and you have success. Because if you have success as your team or as your company, everybody wins, and it's the truth. You'll see, like the kids, Kansas City won the last couple Super Bowls. Well, their best player, their best player is Patrick Mahomes. All right, Travis Kelce, they're going to get theirs. But the guys, the nondescript guys that are just out there, the backup left guard, he got just paid. He got tons of money all of a sudden. Now he's on a different team. They've got a cornerback on defense who just, they traded so he could get what he wanted. I mean, good things happen to people that work hard for the good of the company, and they advance. People want to hire those people.
Correct.
People want to people that won the Super Bowl. People want to hire the people that are with the most successful companies in business. I mean, that's the way it is. And as soon as you can put your own personal, pride aside and work for the good of the team, great things happen.
Fantastic. Now, we have entrepreneurs, business owners, investors, these type of people listening to my show. Any words of advice you might want to tell them that I haven't asked yet?
Well, man, you'd being an entrepreneur. I mean, the biggest thing is you gotta love those people. They keep America running, and they have strong beliefs in themselves, their ideas, and I think it's great. I think anybody that's successful has to be able to put themselves out there, have your core beliefs, what you really strongly are committed to being in, and then go out and make it happen. And I think, I've been fortunate enough to be on some great teams, some successful teams. My family's won 5 Super Bowls. So it's something that we can identify. Hey, these are good people. I want to be a part of that. But I still believe in what I believe in. And if you can find those up that can match up you can have great success. And I think, but again, the more educated you are in something, in your craft, the more belief, and you can change your own beliefs by getting more educated, understanding, hey, this is what it is. I can be better at this. You can make yourself better. And in the long term, everybody, is successful when they do that.
Fantastic. And were there any philosophies or your beliefs guiding you on the football field over your career?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, my father had been, 30 years in the National Football League. And like I said before, he's the greatest defensive coach that ever coached. And he was a great head coach as well. The biggest thing is he always said, I mean, imitation is the greatest form of flattery, but being genuine is the most important thing. If you're yourself, I'm not Buddy Ryan. I mean, me and Rex are twins, but I mean, we're still a little different. I have a better haircut than him, but you have to be yourself. And if you're yourself and you're honest to yourself, you can be successful in anything you do. Because and who wants to go to work where it's forced? I'd rather enjoy work. I don't care what, if I can be myself and I want to enjoy people. I want to enjoy work. And the hours in the National Football League are crazy. You work 18-hour days every day for 6 months. And it's like you don't work an hour. You enjoy it.
You want to, time passes by quickly. You don't realize it. Yep.
I mean, it's a truth, though. It's like, all right, I never even knew I was working that kind of out. But, I don't know. I just think, if you're genuine to yourself, you can be true to yourself and you'll have a great life.
Fantastic. Now let's bring it back to the child trafficking mission of yours. What are your goals in the next year? That's the first question. And then the second question is, how can we get in touch with you if we're interested in participating in some way?
Well, that's great. And I really appreciate it, giving the opportunity to do this. Our goals next year, we are going to have our first launch. We're going to do it at the Super Bowl in New Orleans. I had great times out there for 3 years. And one of the greatest times of my life was that first year. We took the worst defense in the history of football and went to top 3. And I love it. I put on 30 pounds out there because the food was so good. But we're going to launch there. We know the great people there, and we're going to lean on the people in New Orleans to come out strong and have a great launch. And that's our goal for this year. We have a huge golf tournament that we're going to have the next summer in Coronado. And so we're going to go there. Those are going to be our 2 biggest events for next year. And then where people can reach us is at the backwardscapeproject.org. And it's on there. Right now, going through the site, we've got a lot of pictures of the guys on things. We're showing some facts there. The donation part of it, we're getting that up. So if you give us another week before you go out there, and you can actually donate there. But in the meantime, you can buy a couple of hats, whatever your favorite sport is. These hats are great. They're new era. They're top of the line, and
Merch.
We put our own money in it to give these hats away. We're not trying to make $1 billion. We're trying to make the money for charity. We get 0 out of it, but all we're doing is we got a lot going out with none coming in. But it's a great way to start. But the backwardscapeproject.org, that's where you can see us, and you'll see all about our company and our board. We got gold medalists on that board. It's a cool thing, and it's just starting to grow. And with your help, I really appreciate it. I know this, you're going to have a great audience. You have a great audience. And so, this is a great opportunity for people to get involved, and you can get in touch with us through that site.